Welcome to I Heart Geek.
And welcome to another episode of I Heart Geek. This is an absolutely fun episode. You're going to see a lot of our fingers today, probably index fingers mostly. I don't know why that's just how we're starting today. We're
all Italian.
We're all Italian. No, I'm Irish, so I talk with my hands too. We all do. What was I saying? Oh, yes, this episode's going to be a little different from what we normally do. We don't really have a super structured, quote unquote, script per se. And today's going to be just a lot of conversation. We're going to be talking about things that we love that not everybody's checking out, and we think you should. Yay!
Yeah.
So here's the panel. I'm Dub, and I'm here with Skeeter, and I'm here with Christina, and I'm here with Griffin, and we're here with Mr. Romain. How y'all doing today?
Excellent.
Doing excellent.
Can't wait to learn some new things, find some new things to check out.
Really great.
We've done a few of these episodes before, and I highly recommend writing down stuff that sounds interesting and definitely going back and checking it out. So if you want to hit your pause button, go get a piece of paper or your phone, whatever it is where you got to type up. Definitely going to want to write down some of these suggestions that we're going to give, because we give a lot. What's up, Christina?
I was going to say, or you can watch it over and over until you have everything.
Absolutely. And when you do that, hit the subscribe and hit the like and all that fun stuff. That helps us out a lot. We hope that we have earned your subscription at this point. Please. No, I don't want to be begging. Yes, I do. I'll do it. So we broke this up into 4 different categories of stuff that we're going to talk about and hope you discover. First one we're going to talk about is books, and then music, and then we're going to have our listener feedback, where we got a lot of good stuff, and then TV, and then movies. So this isn't necessarily new stuff. In fact, some of my stuff is almost as old as I am, so it's old. And some of this stuff came out last week. It's all over the board. So let's start with the book stuff. We're just going to kind of just keep going around the circle and throw out some. And first thing I want to throw out is a book called The Sire. Now, I got to say this one, because you guys are watching this, hopefully when this comes out on Tuesday. So on Thursday, because we don't have our Loki episode, we got actually the artist that did The Sire, and he's going to be appearing with at least me and Tyler, and I don't know if anybody else is joining us. And we're going to get to talk to a fantastic artist. And this book, it's kind of a Venom, but not at all. I really am in love with the art style, and that's why we got him to come on. So how would you describe this book, Tyler, since I know you've finished reading it too?
I think you're pretty on point. You know, it's got a little bit of that vibe to it, the Venom, but it really takes on a life of its own. The pacing's good. It's a real steady pace.
Yeah.
I really enjoy that. You know, there's no big lulls, and you got to wait till the next issue to even have some fun.
Yeah, so, and it is in 2 different graphic novels, and they're the first one was released 15 years ago, so it's not like a new book, but it's on Comixology. I highly recommend picking it up. Just it's a fun book. So Skeeter, let's hit one of your book suggestions. You big reader, you with your library of millions of books.
Yeah, unless it's got pictures in it, I'm not a reader, really, and I feel horrible because, I mean...
so we'll be skipping you truly, a lot on this one, right?
Yeah, on the book
feel
one,
bad, man.
I mean... I
feel bad. I'm right there with you.
I'm an audiobook kind of a guy, and a lot of my stuff is revolved around my job. So,
and audiobooks are fair game, by the way, because I do mention at least one of them.
That's the greatest invention right there.
Oh, I love audiobooks. I didn't think I would like it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
I will say, like, one of my favorites that I actually read and then did some audio stuff was Lemony Snicket's. I really enjoyed all of that. That was just good fun.
Right on.
The whole Unfortunate Events series was really strong for me. I like that one.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. I mean, other than Dr. Seuss, Sweet Pickles, yeah, that's really
Actually, I do actually have a question, since just for a second on the Unfortunate Events. Which movie did you guys like better, the series or the movie? And I think they
Series.
both had their definite ups and downs.
Oh,
So-
I love the series. NPH was amazing. I know he kicks in from time to time on the show, but
Yeah.
like he was amazing. Like he played the role well. It just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think Jim Carrey did a
great
fantastic job as
series.
well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I was a fan of the movie.
Okay, let's move on. Let's go, Griffin. What give us one of your picks?
For books, I mean, I have to agree with that. When I was younger, I used to love reading books. But the older I get, it's like, oh, it's really hard for me to stay focused and read a book. But I do have to say, which a lot of the viewers might have already read, but I just got into thanks to my father who gave me his trilogy of books, was the uh the Timothy Zahn's Thrawn trilogy for the Star
Oh,
Wars
yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a good
yes.
novels. And I know that a lot of people might know this already or read it, but after having the Disney movies, I was just kind of like, man, I this is not my Star Wars. I don't like this. And so my father-in-law was just like, you need to read these.
Yes.
These are what should have been. And I'm like, okay. And I've only read the first 7 chapters of Heir to the Empire, which is like basically the episode 7, but it is so good. It's so good. It's like watching the movie. And anybody who's not a reader or doesn't like reading books but they love Star Wars, they need to read those, because it is straight up episode 7, 8, 9.
They were
Nice.
really well
So-
done. I've just been doing those audiobooks while I'm at work. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm right there
Mhm.
with you. Those are great.
Tyler, give us one of yours, sir.
Not a big book reader, so I'm not gonna come at you with a huge list of those. But as far as comic books, I will suggest Die, Die, Die from Robert Kirkman.
Yes.
Robert Kirkman and
I forgot about that book.
Scott M. Gimble actually joined him on that one, which is cool. You get a lot. Okay, well, mature audiences, because very violent, very violent.
No, you like violent stuff? Come on.
Sorry, it's going to be a theme.
I know what your music list looks like. Yes,
it's really good. You get these triplets. You know, they have some issues with one of the triplets right off the bat, and there's some shady shadow government type stuff going on. They're assassins, so they're really fun to watch work.
Nice.
And it's written a lot like a show, because it's Scott Gimple being a showrunner on The Walking Dead. You can see it come through in the comic book, and just the art in it is just gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's very easy to follow. The panels and everything is nothing too smashed together. I really recommend it.
Nice. Christina.
So I'm gonna veer far right, and I'm actually there's a series of adult coloring books called The Beauty of Horror, and they are unbelievably phenomenal. There, you can get them on Amazon. They are graphic but gorgeous and very cathartic to color. And I know that's not technically a book, and I have books, I promise, but you have to check them out. They're pretty amazing, and I have like all of them. So
Now, when did the adult coloring book come into vogue all of a sudden? Because it just seems like recently they're everywhere, and I don't remember ever seeing that really before.
Well, back in 2016, I actually used to run a community adult coloring group for the apartments I managed.
What?
And yeah, people would just bring their coloring books down. We'd throw them on the table. We'd laugh, talk, color. It's very relaxing.
That actually sounds like a good time.
Was there whiskey and wine involved?
When we would do it at Archive, yes.
Outstanding.
It was one of the local bars. So we would do that. But yeah, so one of my friends knew I was totally into like sci-fi and horror, and she showed up one day with the first one, and I just fell in love. I probably own about 50. I have one that's WTF adult coloring, and it's a lot of fun too.
Fair enough.
What do you do at night though if you're coloring those things? I mean, you got to take some sort of sleeping pill, I imagine. After that, you're sitting there coloring a horror scene.
I
Yeah,
guess it depends on your
you just fall
personality.
asleep with the
I
nightmares.
sleep like a baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so on this next few rounds, we're gonna skip out Skeeter and Griffin because I think they said their whole list unless they want to throw one in. I want to throw in two different series in, and that is the Marvel What If series, which you'll probably want to read. And then also the DC Elseworlds. It's the same concept, different companies. Now, what these basically are is what if an event changed and Superman would have landed in Russia instead of in America? That's an Elseworlds. What if
Interesting.
Wolverine didn't have metal claws and had to stick with the bone? That's they have just a million interesting stories. What if Uncle Ben didn't die? There are so many of these stories, and these are fun, and they're always one-offs, so you don't have to get like steeped into the lore, but you're just kind of there in it. So I recommend, especially considering starting August 11th, the What If series is coming out, and there's going to be. I would check these out on Comixology.
That might help you understand what you're watching.
Yeah, well, and I don't know that they're really covering any of the What If stories, but the concept is definitely there. Yeah. Yes. Well, because with the What If, there's a lot more of the Watcher and all that, and I don't think we're going to get that with the What If series, but that's a different show altogether. Give us another one there, Tyler.
All right. Well, Stabbity Bunny. Yes.
That looks amazing.
It's an indie series that I highly recommend. I think they're out to about 12 issues now. It's a fun time. You have a little girl who has her stuffed bunny, Stabbity, and you find out very quickly Stabbity has his own secrets, and he protects the little girl who also has secrets. And I don't want to spoil anything, so
yeah, don't spoil it
too much. But it's
I'm gonna
good
check
time.
this out.
It's drawn beautifully. Yet again, I'm attracted to certain styles of art. Yeah, it's definitely one that I would recommend.
Is that kind of similar? I don't know if you've read Emily the Strange. Is that kind of in that same kind of
Emily the Strange? I don't think I've come across that one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you would like that one. But that sounds like it'd be kind of similar. Christina, you got another one for us?
I do. Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. We all know Wicked. We all know McGuire for Wicked. I actually love and adore the Confessions of an Ugly Stepsister. It's a fun journey from a different perspective.
Yeah.
So I think if you liked Wicked, you'll really like it, but it didn't become a musical, so it didn't get as big.
Well, he did an Alice in Wonderland. He's done 3 different ones on the Wicked series. He's done Cinderella. He's done Sleeping Beauty. He's done a Christmas Carol retake, which was pretty freaky. Great at. I recommend everything by McGuire because I really love what he does. I want to throw out an audiobook, which is Neil Patrick Harris's what's it called? Choose Your Own Biography. And it's written, no matter how you go at it, you'll get to the right ending. But he goes, if you want if you want our character not to do go into show business and live a life that's normal, and then you flip to that page and it's like, yes, and he lives, and then he has a 9-to-5 job, and then he dies. If you want to go back and find out what really happened, it's highly entertaining, especially the audiobook. Anything written by Neil Patrick Harris puts his finger to is.
How does that work in an audiobook though?
He makes it work.
Okay.
In fact, I listened to the audiobook first, and I think it's better.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Do you have anything else for us, Tyler?
Sure do.
Okay.
Because if you listen to me on the show, I'm a zombie guy. And I think it's important that
No.
everybody reads everything you ever needed to know about zombies by
Huh.
Matt Mook.
I
Um,
haven't heard of that one.
bit of a educational because zombies are theoretical,
Yeah.
but some of us believe that there's a way something to that nature could happen. So it's a bit of a
I believe.
educational, bit of a survival guide, um, and I think you could apply a lot of the information there to a lot of various situations.
Very good.
So yeah, it's fun.
Christina?
Okay. So I know I'm gonna.
Especially since Romine's a Florida guy.
I know I'm gonna get some hit on this one, but I absolutely loved the Big Bertha comics. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
No.
She was a West Coast Avenger. She was a very chubby gal, and to get her powers, she would go in the bathroom and throw up.
Ew.
So, and then she was like
Wow.
this totally tight, bad mama jama. And
That sounds
I
like a
know,
positive role model.
right? I know
Let's teach
that
you anorexia.
right?
Not
Bulimia,
going the way
Absolutely.
I thought it would.
Yeah, bulimia. But I absolutely adore her. I'm pretty sure she's on. I can never remember the name of it. Wendell, the comic books, all the website.
Comixology?
Comicsology.
Comixology. I always want to say comic booksology. Anyway, I have some of her originals from when I was a teenager, and I found her delightful. And check her out. They're funny. They're good. So
Very good. Okay. I'm gonna do my last two. If you guys have any to pop after this, let's just get kind of the rest of these out. My two, and this is gonna be fast. I go over Lock and Key. Love the art. We're gonna talk about it more when we get to TV, but just a fantastically brilliant series, and you should be reading it. I think it's written by Stephen King's son.
Okay.
Highly, 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 highly recommend it. And the other one is Fables, which is what every single TV show that's tried to throw, the Grimm's fairy tales and all that. They've all tried to follow Fables, and nothing has been as good. I think it is in my top 3 series ever. There's like 28 graphic novels, so it went on for a long time. Bill Willingham.
my favorite one's right up there.
Which one? I can't see.
Red Riding Hood.
Oh, Red Riding Hood.
Yep, I love that.
Yeah, they cover a lot that you've never even heard, a lot of fairy tales that you've never even heard of, and then real history. Did you know that Snow White had a sister in the original telling? Most people didn't, and they bring it in, and they really do their research. Highly recommend it, and it's more adult because there's some adulting going on in it. But it's fantastic. Tyler, finish up your book list, sir.
That's pretty much it for mine.
Fair enough.
If you get around to it, we have Masters of the Universe
The Kevin
coming
Smith
up
one?
soon. So, and they have released the prequel that Kevin Smith is also involved in as far as graphic novels go. So you might
maybe it'll
start
come
picking
out more
those
than
up.
once a year, hey?
Yeah.
Because Kevin Smith has a bad habit of that.
Right. No, we actually have a couple issues coming up pretty quickly. So
Nice.
yeah, I recommend checking those out so you can get involved with the He-Man.
Very good. Like me. Right. Christina.
So the next one for me is actually a local artist here. She's pretty young, but it's called Gateway, the Migic Cycle, and Sense, and it's by Miss Juliet Dunn. It's sci-fi fantasy. It's got social resistance, crazy weird creatures. They're not very long to read, but definitely you should pick them up. They're amazing. And she writes very thoughtful, but keeps the action consistently moving forward.
Very good. Okay, now before we move on to the next section, which is music, Tyler, where did you get that fantastic shirt you're wearing?
This shirt right here, sir, I picked up at iHeartGeek.com. Shipping was excellent. The process was easy, and it fits amazing. I have to say, I actually really, really enjoy wearing this shirt. And I live in Florida, and it's hot.
It is. No, actually, and not to plug too much, but that's part of why I like these shirts so much. They are so, how you get a lot of shirts, especially the mail order ones, and they're like itchy, or they're too thin,
Right.
or they just feel like either they feel like it's a Hanes shirt, or it feels like it's
Yeah,
just
it's a square
cheap.
with holes, you know?
Yeah,
No,
these
not these.
actually great cut on them. I highly recommend them. Also, hit the like, hit the subscribe, all that other fun stuff, and become a Patreon. We just released Iron Man last week, and I believe we have Iron Man 2 coming out this week. Yay! Okay, so let's move on to music. Now, I made my list really, really short because I know everybody had a lot on here. So let's start with me. I want to. I have there's only two that I'm going to talk about. I might throw another one in later, but there's two that I really want to talk about. And the first one is it's 8 different albums called Punk Goes Pop,
Okay.
or Pop Goes Punk, and they have like a bunch of top 40 radio hits, which done by these just amazing, more hard rock quote punk guys. And if they are done, I'm like, how is this not the main mix of these? So good. Production value is off the charts. Highly recommend it. Yeah. Skeeter, give us some music, sir.
Oh my gosh. So I
You
mean,
can give us a couple because I know you guys have big lists.
yeah, growing up, I mean, I always wanted to be a DJ, talk about radio voice, things like that. So I was always very connected to music. Recently, I've been really connected to local bands, things like that. Local to me, down in the Central Valley of California, we have a bluegrassy new band. They're not new; they've been out for a bit, but Poor Man's Poison, very bluegrassy. I highly recommend if you love a nice, just a night sitting around, sipping on some bourbon, listening to some good bluegrass. Poor Man, wonderful band to listen. I love them to death. Living Color was another one.
That's one of my
Going
favorite
back
bands
to
of all
the
time.
80s, 90s. Living Color, just I mean, that was my theme, a lot of my theme stuff for growing up. But I literally enjoyed every moment of every piece that Living Color did. Goldfinger,
Yeah.
ska band, love them. Superman or Here in Your Bedroom, two of my favorite songs. I mean, most of their mainstream stuff, but that's two of my favorite songs, especially Superman, just a great song. Those guys got together during COVID and did one of those Zoom music video sessions. Was just amazing. And then I wrapped it up to keep it short with Faith No More. One of my favorites, always still one of my favorites. The Fish Lives tour back in the 90s was one of the funnest concert runs they ever did. But I just love Faith No More.
Yeah, great band.
They're rock style, great stuff. So that's my music list. I check them out. They're all over, of course, everywhere, iTunes and everywhere else.
Griffin, what we got, bud? I know I'm like going to hear stuff I've never heard before, and you might want to unmute.
My bad.
No
Okay,
worries.
so I mainly I just have one that I feel like really that I had to offer. And this is a lot of people might not necessarily like hip hop or rap, but my favorite like ever creation in music is the album called The Incredible True Story by Logic, who's a rapper, and he's only been recent these last 10 years. But it's a story about by 2065, we've destroyed Earth. We have like just polluted it, and just it's gone to complete crap. And then all the residents who are still alive get on spaceships and fly, and they're trying to find a planet paradise, and that's what it's called. and they're on the ship called the Babel. And basically, it is these two guys, these two pilots who are called Quentin Thomas and William Kai, and they are listening to the incredible true story as they are going to find paradise. And so the album, it's like I had never heard anything like it before. It was like watching a movie but
Wow.
listening to it, and it was like it's an album within an album. And so I definitely recommend it. And it is a great piece of work. So that is the one thing I have to offer for
Very
music.
cool.
Really interesting.
Yeah, and if you don't know who Logic is, if you watch Rick and Morty on the what is it, their superhero team, whichever one that was, when Rick has the party at the end, that's who's rapping in that Rick and Morty episode. So, yay.
Yes, yeah, he is. Yeah.
Like thinking about it, yeah, that is. Okay, Tyler, what is your some of your list?
Are we dropping the list?
Get ready for metal. Well, I think
one
we're
or two.
gonna give us some of your tops.
Gotcha. Not actually, not a whole lot of metal. I do listen to metal, but this is hidden gems. A lot of the stuff I'm a fan of in the metal, the country, the rap circuit is all pretty popular stuff. So I went a little more obscure with my other choices when I'm alone, so I don't annoy people. Definitely mindless self-indulgence. You ever get a chance to look that up?
What is
They've
it?
been out. Oh, dude, if I could describe it, I would. There's a lot of electronic. They're mixed with a lot of rock, I guess you would say.
Kind of industrial sound band.
Industrial, but yet super fast, super crazy. It's like, man, I can't really put one good description on it. You gotta listen to it.
Yeah.
None of this stuff is stuff you're gonna play with your kids in the car.
I can't imagine.
Also, fart barf. Yes, fart barf. The name is why I picked to look at it, and once I listened to it, I was hooked. I think I broke them.
Yeah, you broke up.
Hey, they did well. See, got your attention. But it sounds like
this is my new
music.
favorite band, and I want their T-shirt.
Right. It sounds a lot like just electronic music, but it's real video gamey.
Ooh.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
Yeah, they got some songs that sound like they could be right out of a crazy trippy Zelda or something.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
Also, Oakley Dokley, the Ned Flanders
metal
Screamo
band. Yes.
Yes. Very good, very fun to listen to. Short songs, you don't have to listen to a 30-minute album. Also, and then I'll leave you with Gary Clark Jr.
Oh, so good.
So good.
He makes his guitar do things.
Guitar,
Jimi Hendrix-esque.
Who's playing it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Say that one more time.
Gary Clark Jr.
Yep. Very soulful.
Notepad.
Very
You have your
bluesy. Complete different spectrum from the other ones I mentioned.
The first one I would check out from him, he did the Justice League trailer when they did Come Together. That was him.
One of Bright Lights was another of my favorite songs. Pink Cadillac is another really good one. And those three songs give you a good wide array of what he can produce.
Yeah. Okay, Christina.
My first one is from the 90s. It's Hepcats. It's a all-girl ska band. It's a lot of fun. A lot of really good music. Then Mouse on the Keys. They are a Japanese band, and they do jazz, funk. They killer on the drums. It's just really fun. Hop in the car, drive, listen to. And then, of course, for me, anything from Two Steps from Hell. I've talked about them before. Epic, sweeping. They do some EDM. They do some, just depending, because they work in the movie industry a lot. So Battle Cry is my favorite album from them. Get in the car, crank it, drive. It is life-changing.
Very good. Now, since I only named one, I'm going to name three more. One is Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, which is fusion jazz with the banjo. It's the most amazing. Victor Wooten is the bass player. If you ever heard him, literally, it is like it's an embarrassment of talent in that band. It's probably the most talented band. And
You've posted links on Facebook, and I listen to them every single time.
Yeah, I wanted to mention them because they actually officially broke up. Because the saxophone player plays with Dave Matthews now, and Bela's doing $1 Million Grammy stuff, and Vic's God. So, and the other two that I wanted to mention are something. One we mentioned often, and that is Baby Metal. Listen to Baby Metal; it'll make your life better. And the second one is Kirby Crackle, which does all of their stuff is geek related. They do songs about Green Lantern. They do songs about video games. They do songs about Zelda.
What?
That's all they do is
Kirby Crackle.
Kirby Crackle.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
They're a lot of fun. And with that, let's move on to listener feedback.
And now, let's see what all of our geek rock stars have to say.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys noticed the screen looks a little different, and there's less voices that are on if you're one of our audio listeners. Skeeter and Griffin were having some internet issues, and they were moving up at a cabin. And they're in the mountains, so they gave me their list, and we will discuss it as we go. Okay, so let's do our listener feedback today. And the first one and I know, are we freaked out that I'm the one that's rating it? The first one we're going to say is Carl Reed, the Black Geek. We miss you, bud. I hope you're enjoying your move.
He's only 3 hours away from me now.
Now he's far from me. Okay, so Carl says anime, specifically older ones like Gundam and Macross. I feel like Hollywood hasn't made it popular since people still don't give them chances. By the way, the question was what do you want people to discover? Y'all read the listener feedback. And yeah, I agree. I think that anime, the comics are out, manga is outselling comic books, I believe 50-1 right now.
Really?
What are we doing? What are we doing wrong? And why aren't we, anime needs to change their style a little bit, I think. Soften it a little bit and make it Americanized. But yeah, no, I do think that we haven't given it a chance. We have the big ones. We have our Cowboy Bebops and our Ghost in the Shells. Castlevania. And that's even kind of a lot of people aren't discovering.
And it's strange because it has a massive following. I go to a lot of conventions. I mean, it's anime has a massive following, but yet it still feels like it's underground. It's I don't know. But then again, would it be as good if you found a way to break free and really do something mainstream? Yeah, would it be as enjoyable?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, because
you don't think they'd sacrifice anything to get there?
A lot of the things that I love, people haven't heard of just because it's not in your face.
Yeah, my favorite anime series, like hardly anybody's heard of, and that's Les Chevaliers d'Eon. It's French-based, zombies. Tyler, you should check it out. It's amazing. It's done really, really well. But when I talk about it, people are like, "What? Huh?"
You may have to send me a link because I'm pretty sure I don't know how to spell that.
I will say, Carl brings up a great point. Look up some anime. Try something different because it's a very different art form. Check it out. It's completely worth checking out. Satomi, our own Satomi, she said escape rooms. You haven't heard all of my whys and my gushing. You'll hear more when we do a show about it. So that's her making us do a show about escape rooms.
She's a genius.
We are planning on doing it. Escape rooms, that's not something that's caught my attention, but it's something that I want to. And I feel like a lot of people the same way. Do you guys have any escape room thoughts?
Yeah, no, I've done them. They're a ton of fun. They're a lot of fun. I think, like, when I tried to get some friends to do it, there's this misconception that they're trapped for life or they're going to feel stupid. It is so much fun.
Yeah, I think I haven't done them, but I know people who have, and they never have a negative thing to say. I think if you get the right group of people, it's a heck of a time.
But I think that TV has definitely put a kibosh on it because when you watch in the sitcoms, they're cheesy.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's see. Blythe says this is a long one. Willy's Wonderland. With Five Nights at Freddy's movie in production, a few studios have taken a shot at the haunted animatronic plot, and Willy's is fantastic.
Right on.
For anyone who is a Nick Cage fan, you should get a kick out of the horror comedy flick. He also says Hyperion Comics, which is something he's been pushing since day one. This is one of my all-time favorite book series. I have revisited it multiple times, and for anyone who loves sci-fi reading, it is a must. He wants to do a full-length series. Big surprise. And honestly, if we can get a couple of us to read it, we'll be on it. But it's, again, this is what's hard when it's not something that a lot of people know about, so they're harder to do the full-length episodes. Online ARGs, alternate reality games. I'm not really familiar with these too much. On platforms like Reddit and YouTube, there are creators that make amazing ARGs that involve communities all around the country. I've seen some that expand to multiple social media platforms, leaving hints and mysteries to be discovered by their communities, even leaving things in the physical world for people to find. There are all types of different genres, but the horror ones are always the most intense and well thought out. This sounds interesting, but I don't really have a grasp on what it is. Do you guys know what the ARG is?
I'm not familiar with it either. I was wondering if it's a VR thing, something you can play on your phone. Like what? We're gonna need Blythe to expound on.
Blythe, if you want to put that in the
look us up
comments. I want, this is something I definitely sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Kimberly who said Kung Pao. The director Steve Odenkirk took an old movie, Savage Killers, and digitally added new materials and dubbed it over his own dialogue. There's absolutely nothing serious about it, and you will find something new and funny almost every time you watch it. It has so many different funny one-liners that stick with you for years. Not many people have seen it, but most people love it and quote it often.
And freaking tastic.
Yeah, this is something that you and your wife bring up literally anytime you guys get a chance. Can you real quickly tell us why?
It's just so fun. It's so cheesy. It's if you're a fan of that, it's so stupid it's funny. Like it's right up your alley. It's ridiculous, man. The absurdity is done just right to where it hits every time, Dino from the Hump podcast, who recently passed, me and him bonded over this movie.
Yeah.
And we could quote it from across the room, and he would turn around and, it would get his attention. He knew I was there. I mean, it's very quotable. It's fun. It's funny. It doesn't take itself seriously at all. In the concept, he took an old, an old kung fu movie and dubbed over it with his own stuff, and it fits perfectly.
Very good. Yeah, well, this is something that I keep meaning to check out. It's just I got to be reminded. So Tyler, keep reminding me. Maybe we'll do a show on it. Maybe we'll do a thought bubbles on it after.
There you go.
We do have like another 9, but unfortunately, I'm looking at the time, and in order for us to get out on time, because some people have to work, I'm gonna have to skip over those. I'm sorry, guys. Thank you so much for everybody
Thank you very much
for your feedback, and I really, really was trying to read everything. I just time. Okay,
we're reading your suggestions.
So next one up, we are going to talk TV. And because of the time crunch, we're going to kind of do them all at the same time. I'm going to do mine, and then we'll do Tyler's, and then I'll do Griffin's, and then we'll do Christina's, and then we'll do Skeeter's, if that makes sense. Okay, so mine that I want to throw out, and most people have watched these, but I highly recommend the Umbrella Academy, because I know not everybody's watched it. You should, especially the first season. I hate the comic book, to be fair.
Really?
The show is fantastic. I hate the art style. The show is so fantastic. And then, of course, The Boys. If you're not watching The Boys and you don't mind dark humor, The Boys is for you. October Faction, which is another comic book turned into a TV show on Netflix. That one, nobody jumped on.
I'm curious about this one.
It's good.
They're monster hunters.
Okay.
It's a family of like a CIA type organization that fights monsters.
Oh wow. Okay.
It's highly secretive.
And it's not what you expect.
No, a little bit of the CW stuff in it, but it's really an enjoyable show. If you liked Umbrella Academy, you're gonna love October Faction. And finally, Lock and Key. We'll mention that one again. Yes, read the book, watch the show, and the new series is coming out at the end of this month, or new season. So, highly recommended. Tyler, let's give me yours, sir.
Alrighty. One that I think is a bit underrated is War of the Worlds on Epix. If you have Epix or can stream from Epix,
Mm-hmm.
it's a nice take on that old story. It was not what I expected. It takes place overseas, so there's a few areas where there's like subtitles and stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can tolerate that, you're good. But yeah, it was one that I didn't expect to even like, and we ended up watching like 5 episodes in one night. Going to bed late. Another one is Superman and Lois on the CW.
Okay.
I was very surprised at their take on that and the way they, seeing Superman as a dad, as a family guy.
Yeah.
It's a really cool take on it.
Because you're suggesting it, I'm gonna watch. I've been avoiding it because the CW shows have just taken such a dump lately.
Right. No, they
haven't been good in a while. But
if you say it's good, I think you'll enjoy.
I'll buy it. So I'll check. I will definitely check it out.
Another one, complete opposite end of everything I've talked about today. Bluey. For you parents out there, I have 2 kids. One of them is 4 years old. Bluey is the one show I recommend every parent let their kids watch. It is done so well. I don't know who writes this show, but I get taught lessons about being a parent while watching this show. Seriously.
Nice.
I can't get enough, or I can't gush enough about this show because kids shows are just ridiculous and it's mind melting crap. But not this. It's
everything but Yo Gabba Gabba. Yes.
On the surface, if you just catch a couple minutes, it's like, oh, what is this? They're playing Keepy Uppy. What is this? But when you really, dude, there's episodes that have almost brought me and my wife to tears. It's just so heartwarming and everything.
I was not expecting this as an answer.
Right? But no, I highly recommend it if you have children.
You got one more for us?
Yeah, I want to go ahead with Titans. I just recently got into this one. And I was very blown away. I did not expect it to be put together as well as it does. It's pretty dark. It's definitely not for kids. But yeah, the introduction to the characters as you're going along, and they got to come together, and it's the events that happen. It's pretty violent, but yeah, it's definitely not your Teen Titans Go or your just Teen Titans in general.
It looks like it'll fit in with like your Doom Patrol or Stargirl.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really good.
I haven't watched. This is another thing that I've been meaning to get into. Christina, let's hear a couple of your lists.
I thought you were going to read Griffin's real quick.
I do need to read Griffin's. Thank you.
Okay.
You're quick. Okay, so Griffin said Cowboy Bebop, fantastic. Netflix's Ragnarok, Jimmy Neutron Boy Genius, and Invader Zim.
Oh
yeah. Those are all really good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Christina.
Okay, Good Omens on Amazon. Michael Sheen, David Tennant. You have to watch it. It's genius. It's funny. It's irreverent. It's one of my favorites. Haven, set in a little town in, I believe it's New Hampshire or Maine. I can't remember. But the storyline is basically people, they call them the Troubles. People have these challenges or issues that are like supernatural. And this one lady can come in and fix the problems. But it's just really geniusly done. Lost Girl. I don't know if anybody's watched that one yet. Oh, okay. No. So it's a lot of fantasy. She's a succubus, the main character. And there's werewolves and vampires, and you just really have to watch it. It's definitely a little more adult themed, but it's really well written. It's really well done, and there's a ton of characters. And then the last one for me is 2012, Beauty and the Beast. And that TV series is based off of, it's a soldier that's been tested on versus the more traditional Beauty and the Beast story. And Beauty is a doctor. And it's done really, really well.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let me read up Skeeter's list real quick. And he said Psych, which we've talked about a million times. That's such a great show. Jupiter's Legacy, which I still haven't caught, but it looks really good. And what was that last one? Last Man Standing, which is that it's Tim Allen. I think it's Tim Allen still at the top of his game. No matter what your thoughts are, and he's always funny. So, yeah,
Home Improvement with daughters instead of his sons.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Actually,
it is very enjoyable.
It's not anything that makes you think. It's just nice brain dead TV, and I love brain dead TV,
like the old days of TGIF.
Yeah, like you're not going to learn anything. No one's trying to make a statement on anything. It's just okay. All the troubles go away for half an hour, and that's I want to
asked
that
for,
on
right?
TV. Yep. Okay, so let's go on to our final topic, which is movies. We're going to do kind of the same thing. And first one I want to say is, did the Disney animated universe, all of them up to the current ones that they all look like they're drawn by the same people that did Archer. I'm not happy with that, but maybe it'll grow on me. We do have a show coming up on that in a couple of weeks. The DC animated universe is every bit as good as the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Fight me. It's some of the best movies out. I just wish that Warner Brothers would learn how to pick from their animated instead of the because they are
a whole nother discussion, right?
Because they are true to the comics and they are made for comic book people, and it's easy for most people to just grasp on, whether you're a comic book reader or not. All the Broken Lizard stuff, Super Troopers 2, Beer Fest, Club Dread. I just read Jay Calasandiar's, I can't say his last name, his autobiography, and it's like they just did some brilliant work, and it's Monty Python meets Saturday Night Live. That's how you can describe them, and I love it. The second half of the Jurassic Park series, the Chris Pine stuff, love those. And one that you guys haven't seen in forever and a day, and you need to rewatch, Young Guns 1 and 2, especially that soundtrack with Bon Jovi and 2.
Chris Pratt, though, right?
That's what I said, isn't it? Oh, Pine, yes. That's what I meant. Y'all know I'm gonna get the names wrong all the time.
One of the Chris's.
That's part of the charm. It's a Chris. Okay,
it's a Chris.
Tyler, let's hear your movie list, sir.
All right. We're gonna go back into what I'm used to talking about here. Frankenstein's Army. I definitely recommend that if you're into the horror weirdness. It is a grotesque, visually stunning movie. A bunch of experiments done creating just creatures with giant weird weapons attached to them, and just it's insane.
Nice.
Dead Snow 1 and 2 of my favorite zombie movies ever. They get pretty cheesy, but
would it be better if they were on snowboards? Please tell me there's a snowboarding zombie somewhere. I will watch that if there is.
Not quite, but it's basically Nazi zombies coming after these people in both of them for various reasons.
Almost spit take right then.
Also, I will have to mention Six String Samurai. Everybody
that's another Dino
this
love.
one.
Yeah.
That's one that Dino absolutely loved, and I could see why. Buddy Holly in a post-apocalyptic world with a rockabilly theme, battling people with using his guitar as a weapon, and then using obviously a samurai sword as a weapon.
And honestly,
it gets crazy and fun, man.
Because you said that, our listeners can expect a thought bubbles with me and you in the next few weeks, because I'm going to watch that, because I feel like I want to do that one for Dino anyway, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have one more for us?
Yeah. It was out quite a while ago. I don't know how many people have seen Chappie. Yeah, it's Short Circuit on acid. It's you got a robot, you got a couple of weird gangsters that they come into possession, well, not possession of, but Chappie joins them. They kind of try and bend him to do their bidding and stuff, and become part of their crew, and a lot of gunfighting, a lot of just weirdness, man. It's a fun ride.
I know there's a theme that goes through a lot of your movies. Oh no, I got to read. This is Griffin's, and he said Cinema Paradiso, and I have no idea what that is. Sorry, can't do that with any justice. The Great Dictator. I think everyone's watched Schindler's List. Put that one in the boy in striped pajamas, and I'm done for the next month. Right. And to counteract that, not another teen movie. And those were all fun, by the way. So yeah, I can't harp on that list at all. Christina, what do you got?
Okay, so I don't know if you've seen this one, Tyler. It's called The Returned. It's from 2013. It's a zombie movie. But the preface is that there's a medication that if you've been infected, it keeps you from turning into a zombie as long as you take it every day. And of course, the crisis is the medicine's running out.
Of course.
It's really well done. It's a little more drama side of the zombie thing, but I really, really enjoyed it. A Boy and His Dog from 1973.
Wow.
Post-apocalyptic, twisted as hello operator. Really good. Starring a very young Don Johnson.
Oh, nice.
And so
was he wearing a white coat?
Nope, he was wearing a loincloth, I think.
Oh.
I mean, you know.
There you go, ladies.
It was the 70s. Don't judge.
There's a lot of hair on that chest.
2015, if you like Kung Pao, you're going to love Kung Fury.
Absolutely.
It's 30 minutes of the most ridiculous, hilarious. The first time I watched it, my son Matthew turned me onto it, and I was like, I looked at him and I was like, well, that was 30 minutes of my life I won't get back. And then I watched it like 12 times after because it's just ridiculous
Kung
fun.
Fury
And
2 is in production.
I know. He called me. He's like, guess what? It's 30 minutes, and if you're gonna watch Kung Pao, watch Kung Fury. It's genius.
Nice.
And I love it.
Okay, now we're gonna have to cut off because I got to do Skeeter's list. We got to get out of here because I know people got to go to work. So let me read Skeeter's list for us real quick. And you can double a lot of these just for me. He said The Cowboys, the John Wayne version, The American President, New in Town. Never heard of that one. Secondhand Lions,
So
The Great Santini. And as always, a movie that him and I watched a million times together, Book of Love. If you haven't watched Book of Love, let me soapbox on this one for a second. That is the best story from 90s, from quote unquote modern times, talking about the 50s and the 60s. It's all flashback. It's so good. I mean, just so good.
And I'll plug New in Town. You have to watch it. It's Renee Zellweger and Harry Connick Jr. New York or Florida chick ends up in Minnesota.
In Minnesota? Don't you know?
So hilarious and funny.
Outstanding. So thanks everybody for hanging in with us. Sorry, it felt kind of a little rushed, but we had some technical stuff we had to deal with today. As always, check us out on all our social medias. Join our Patreon, www.iheartgeekshow.com. Use the code, we paid extra for it. Do the like our stuff, share it. That means so much to us. I mean, I don't think you can even possibly imagine. And if you're an audio listener on iTunes, give us a little review. That helps us out. It helps us get in front of a lot more people's eyes. So until next time, I'm Dub. We were here with Skeeter and Griffin and Christina and Tyler. Keep on geeking on, guys.
You have been listening to the latest episode of the I Heart Geek Show. Make sure you visit our website at www.iheartgeekshow.com. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And if you check us out on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on geeking on to all of you geek rock stars.